Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the Bundesliga show, Fantasy Football edition. We are returning for here on a Friday morning slot, joined by Rune this morning. We're just talking off air that we're both a little tired for various different reasons, but we're back here. We're looking forward to another weekend of Bundesliga footy and ready to crack on with another big show.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Talking about fantasy football always gives me some extra energy. So that's always something.
Yes, indeed it is. Lovely stuff. So we'll crack on with the show. We've got some great picks for you all to have a listen to that Rune has provided as ever. So we'll get kick-started in a moment. Obviously, if you can please do leave a like on this video. They all really help, believe it or not, with the YouTube algorithms and all that lovely stuff, as well as commenting your questions, whether it's watching live or afterwards. Please do leave them and we'll get to them. And of course, make sure you sub to the channel. That would be awesome. Also, make sure you're constantly checking out Bully News for all the most up-to-date team news. That obviously helps with making your fantasy football decisions and transfers, as well as everything else from previews to reviews, long reads, exclusives, and the rest. So yeah, make sure you go check that out with Rune and the gang. Right, so we'll crack straight on then with our defenders and let everyone get warmed up. So yeah, make sure you get your questions into the live chat, and we'll obviously take them and answer them all as we go along. But before that point, I'll pass over to you, Rune, to talk us through your three defender picks this week.
Thank you. My budget pick is Dimitrios Giannoulis from Augsburg. We just have one more week to invest in Augsburg assets after this game, the home game against Köln. That schedule gets significantly tougher. But this game, I think, has some potential for both sides, actually. Could be a tight one. And I think Giannoulis is one of the better options in the budget category at the back. He's worked his way back from an injury and started last week, returned to the starting lineup and got 227 points against Wolfsburg. Just a good offensive wingback, very involved for Augsburg and capable of getting goals too at times. So a potential differential there. And then my mid-price pick is Vladimir Sufal from Hoffenheim. Just wanted to mention someone else, Danusan Kabak, who obviously is pretty much a must-have at this point, Kabak. But Sufal has been doing well for some time now, over the whole season, actually. Especially his last couple of games, fantasy-wise, have been really strong. Hoffenheim have a great schedule too. They're facing St. Pauli, Heidenheim, and Wolfsburg in the next 3 games. So they're definitely one of the teams that I'd look at investing in, generally speaking. And you could even double up, I think, at the back with both Sufal and Kabak, and I'd still expect both to do well. And then finally, my premium pick is Nathaniel Brown, who is once again an important player for Frankfurt, especially since Riera has taken over. I think he's look closer to his top level again, and that also shows when you look at his fantasy returns. And I think Frankfurt are another team with a good run of fixtures coming up. They're playing Freiburg this week at home, which is an okay fixture, but then they have St. Pauli, Heidenheim, and Mainz, and Köln coming up afterwards. So I think Brown is a player you could potentially hold on to for several weeks. And at the moment, his price it's okay. I think it's lower than it used to be at the start of the season. So if he performs in the weeks to come, he should get more expensive. So now could be a good time to pick him up, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Some good picks in there. I think Mark and I, obviously with his association and favoritism towards Augsburg, we're talking about Giannoulis and way that he's been performing, looking like a really nice kind of partnership as well. They could be striking up with Claude Maurice as well down that left flank, something that can stand to reason that points can certainly come from. So far, yeah, absolutely. I think he's been in my team for a large part of this season. He's been so consistent in terms of hauling points alongside his teammate now in Kabak, who has leaped into favour, hasn't he? This season, or the second half of the season. So no live comments at the moment or questions. So that's not a problem. If anyone has any, by all means, pop them in the chat. I haven't seen any on social media at the moment, so we'll just move on with the show, which will be onto our midfielder picks for this week as well. So Rune, straight back to you.
Thank you. Starting off with a Köln asset in midfield, Said Almala, who, I think he's been going through a rough period with a bit of a dip in form compared to his performances earlier this season, which is completely natural and logical given the fact that he's such a young player. But clearly, he expects a lot from himself, and the game last week where he scored and produced an assist was very important for him, I think, very important for Köln, generally speaking, because he is so important for them. And it matters a lot to have him in form. And I think that should give him a lot of confidence heading into the game against Augsburg. And I could see him hitting Augsburg on the counter potentially. That's one of his big strengths, when he can use that pace in behind the opposing defense. And we saw that numerous times against Hoffenheim, causing them all sorts of problems with his dribbling and pace. Very, very good option, I think, in the budget category. Then moving on to Bilal El-Khanous as my mid-price pick. He was left out of the starting lineup against Celtic last night, which is, that was encouraging news for fantasy managers, because then we pretty much know that he'll be in the starting lineup this weekend. Would be very surprised if he wasn't. Stuttgart are playing at home against the Wolfsburg side in a lot of trouble. A lot of suggestions that they need a result here. Otherwise, Daniel Bauer could be on his way out. He's under a lot of pressure because of Wolfsburg's poor results for some time now. And El-Khanous' ownership is down to 9%. So a great differential option, I think, in midfield this week. And we all know what he's capable of. We saw it in the first leg against Celtic, for example, where he got a brace. And then finally, Romano Schmidt is my premium pick. Pretty disappointing stuff from Werder last week against St. Pauli. My budget pick at the back, Agu, got injured in the warm-up, unfortunately. So hope that you didn't bring him in. Sometimes, I mean, that's just an example. I just wanted to mention that it's just an example of something happening that's totally beyond our control as fantasy managers when he's named in the starting lineup and then has to pull out. Anyway, Romano Schmidt, probably the most important player, at least in midfield, and also the most consistent fantasy asset. And this is despite the fact that he's probably not been at his best for some time now. And that's also something that's been addressed in the press heading into the game, how to get the best out of him again. And but despite this, he's actually, fantasy-wise, he's actually been doing quite well. And Werder are playing Heidenheim at home in a real relegation 6-pointer, so they need a win here. I could see Schmidt step up for them again. Heidenheim, they're actually not playing bad football, but they're conceding a lot of goals at least. They also did that last week. Would really surprise me not to see Werder get on the score sheet here. And when they do, Schmidt is usually involved on penalties and all that too.
Yes, precisely. And I think, another player that we name dropped last night on our prediction show, Mark and I, just saying, it basically could be, Romano Schmidt versus Dinci in terms of that kind of creativeness of the two teams in itself. So yeah, stands to reason that he will be involved in anything good that Werder can produce in that massive encounter for both teams this weekend as well. Again, yeah, not seeing anything in the live chat, so obviously, that's fine if people know where they're at. If questions come in, we'll absolutely answer them. Rune, I've got one just to throw out there anyway, with obviously the top spiel game being the Klassiker this weekend. I think most fantasy players will be pretty happy and safe in what they're thinking that Bayern players are fixture proof, generally speaking. Anyway, do we confidently feel that still with a Dortmund team that are reeling from their Champions League exit? And then I guess the other side of it is Dortmund assets. Do we sell?
I'm comfortable with my Bayern assets. At the moment I have Olise, Kane and Diaz, as I think a lot of people do, and I think they're capable of hurting any opponent. They've shown that often enough this season. With regards to Dortmund, I think people probably don't have a lot of Dortmund players in the teams at the moment, because Schlotterbeck has been out, and he was by far the most popular pick, I think, from Dortmund. And it looks like he'll return this week, but probably not the best timing to move him in for this game. Probably better to wait a week. I beg Bayern to get the win here, especially after what happened against Atalanta. From Dortmund's perspective, obviously that wasn't ideal by any means. That's not the best sort of build up to have going into such an important game. Also, I think the fact that Ryerson is out is a big blow for Dortmund. He's suspended, so will probably be Guto playing that right wing back role. Maybe Maximilian Bayer if they opt for something different. But I mean, Ryerson is far better at defending than the alternatives. So to see these guys come up against Luis Diaz and Musiala, Gnabry, whatever, that's just huge blow for Dortmund. In combination with the result they just experienced in the Champions League.
Yeah, for sure. I did have Guirassy in about 2 weeks ago now for his mini glow up, I guess, so we can call it. But I think I took him out last week. As a result. But again, a player that's not gonna get what he wants in this fixture, is he? So again, probably a player if you do still have a hold of to probably get rid for better assets. And speaking of, we'll then move the show forward onto strikers then. So they're on screen for you all. Again, if you have any questions around strikers or anywhere else, still plenty of time. Pop them in the chat. We've got time for questions at the end should there be any. But in the meantime, Rune, back to yourself for your picks.
Yeah, thank you. Another player from the Friday night game here as my budget pick, Rune Arke from Köln. I think most people have probably seen his amazing goal from last week now, the scissor kick he scored. But that's just another good performance from him. He's been in great form generally for some time now and produced consistent fantasy returns. So I think he's probably one of the best budget options up front at the moment. And another player I could have mentioned in midfield is Claude Maris from Augsburg, obviously from this game. But he's a good option too. So a lot of players actually from the Friday night game that could do well, I think. Mid-price pick is Kramaric from Hoffenheim, another player in great form. As we talked about earlier, Hoffenheim are in the middle of a very favorable run of fixtures. They're in great form, scoring a lot of goals. So he's on penalties too. So just an overall solid option, I think, for the weeks to come. Aslani, his teammate, is another good option. If you don't want to spend that much on a Hoffenheim striker, I think Aslani could be a good alternative. And then finally, I just wanted to mention Dennis Undav. He did actually feature last night, but I think given he was rested against Heidenheim last weekend, it would be a real surprise to see him benched again. And also, despite the fact that he played less than a half in that game against Heidenheim, he still got around 200 points. And that sort of underlines how explosive he can be fantasy-wise. As we've talked about several times, he's the sort of player who can get points in multiple ways because of his overall involvement, and also capable of producing assists too. So just an overall good fantasy asset. And Stuttgart have a very favorable game coming up. They got to rest some of their key players against Celtic too. So I think Undav and Demirovic as well. Demirovic was on the bench last night, right? If I remember correctly.
He was on the bench, I think. Yes. Yeah, so, I only called the second half in the end. Okay. So let me just double check that, because there was a lot of rotation. I know Buonani started. Oh, so Demirovic was on the bench. Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So he should be nailed on starter at the weekend too. So he's a good alternative in the budget category. Both Stuttgart attackers should do well, I think.
Yes, indeed. Lovely stuff. Thank you for that, Rune. I've just seen a comment come up on our YouTube studio under our predictions from Stephen Fraser, and I think this is a question for us. So I'll answer it for you in here, Stephen, and let you know. The question is: pick Grimaldo and or captain Grimaldo, Rune. So obviously Leverkusen did what they needed to do midweek, but we also saw on the other side of it how poorly they didn't rock up the last time they played midweek football. Losing to Union Berlin. So what do we think about Grimaldo and his chance?
Sorry, I have a bit of a connection issue, I think. Hopefully I'm coming clearly through. With regards to Grimaldo, I was actually a bit worried that he would get a rest last week because the period before Christmas, Leverkusen talked a lot about being more cautious with him going into the future, about not overplaying him. So I sort of I was a bit in doubt whether he would get a break. He didn't get a break there, at least, but now they have 2 games coming up because they have the postponed fixture midweek too. So I think at some point Grimaldo will probably get a break. So the thing is, when is that going to be? Because they have Mainz now, and then they have Haasfrau, and then they have Freiburg within a week's time. So that's a bit of a concern for me, and it is so difficult to read based on the press conference when that break will come and whether it will come at all. Ullmann is usually keeping his card very, very close to his chest, but for sure he's a player you should keep for this match day. I mean, if you start him, then and he's benched, not saying that will happen, but if it does, then most other people will have made that same decision and have started him as well. So it's not as big as a blow as if you start a differential option and he was benched, for example. So I think that gives you a bit of comfort. But at the same time, if you have the same feeling as me that he will be given a break at some point, then you could take a gamble and start someone else at the back if you are really comfortable with that player. I saw a few people on Twitter had started Kabak last week from Hoffenheim, for example. And that worked out pretty well because even though Grimaldo started, Kabak still outscored him. So just I don't know if that's a clear answer, but just a few thoughts on the whole Grimaldo situation.
Not ever really straightforward with Grimaldo, especially when there's been midweek football, I think, for Leverkusen. it's sometimes hard to, like you say, read Casper's mind. Yeah, thank you for that, Stephen. I'll comment as well to let you know to check out this from a timestamp point of view. Also had a live question here from FPL Swans, friend of the show. Thank you for this one and tuning in. Had Kane, Diaz, and Diamande as my forward spots since the last break. Are there any reasons to change? Any reasons to change at this point? Do missed forward transfers. Yeah, so yeah, obviously a very talented and reliable front three there, Rune. Any need for change?
I don't think so. I have that same trio up front, and yeah, they're performing week in, week out. So unless you want to take a bit of a chance, if you're trying to climb the rankings and feel like gambling a bit, I mean, Dortmund away is the sort of fixture that it is more difficult than the average game for Bayern, at least. So you could make an argument for taking out Diaz and replacing him with Kramaric, for example, or one of the Stuttgart guys, if you want to take a gamble. But again, I don't feel the need to make that change at all. It's only if you want to do something else than the rest of the game, basically, because I think a lot of people have that front trio and are pretty happy with how they've performed for some time now.
Yes, agreed. And agreed the main reasons why people like myself would do changes because you're playing catch up, basically, and you need some differentials, which I am having to employ in order for my desperation to climb the rankings as the season comes into the business end. So thank you for that, FPL Swans. I hope that helps and keeps your consistency from a front three point of view. Stephen, no problem. Glad we covered it for you, and glad that you've now got some information on Grimaldo. Lovely stuff. That covers us for this morning's show. So yeah, just to close up with the usuals. If you can indeed like this video, especially so this morning. Obviously, we've not had loads of comments, so if you're watching us later on today, post your questions, post your thoughts. We will reply as and when we get the opportunity to throughout the day and before that Friday night deadline. And if you can do, please do subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And then all the info on us is on our socials, throughout, Instagram, Blue Sky, and the rest. We try and post everything that we can, as well as Bully News are, of course, on there as well. Fantastic stuff. Thank you all for watching with us this morning. Thank you to Rune, as per, for your excellent insights. We'll see you all once again on Monday to review it all. Will hopefully be an excellent weekend of Bundesliga football, as per usual. Enjoy it, guys, and we'll catch you next time. Cheers all.